mostly sunny with a high of 91 degrees and a low of 72. Tuesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 92 and a low of 72. Wednesday will have scattered thunderstorms with a high of 89 and a low of 72. Thursday will have scattered thunderstorms with a high of 87 and a low of 72. Friday will have isolated thunderstorms with a high of 87 and a low of 71. That's it for the weather.
We might not know why, we might not know how, but baby, tonight we're beautiful.
On Monday, the softball team will be playing at Luella at 5:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. And on Tuesday, the JV and varsity volleyball team will be playing at home versus Stockbridge at 5:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. And the softball team will be playing at Locust Grove at the same time. And on the 18th of August, the JV and varsity volleyball team will be playing at home versus Eagles Landing at 5:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. And our softball team plays at home versus Jones County at 5:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. And on the 19th of August, our varsity football team will be playing away at Morrow at 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. And that's all for sports.
So you've done schedule changes for the past week now?
Among other things, yes.
Is that the most hectic thing that's been happening this week?
That's probably the priority.
Priority. How many schedule changes have you done?
Don't count too many.
You don't too many? What would you estimate that at? Like,
If I had to guess, just for Monica's, Miss Green's alpha order, S through Z, I'd probably say about 300,
and how many students are in the building?
about 1,200.
What's your main goal when trying to change a student schedule? Is it, do you sit down one-on-one with them, or do you just change it to whatever available?
Couple of things we have to look at. It's not as easy as a lot of kids would think. Click, click, and it's done. One, we have to look at AP's GPAs.
Okay.
If we're making requests, and depending on core classes, graduation, what is this child's grade point average? Is this change going to work depending on the time of day, the availability, the number of kids per class? AP, honors classes, certain classes are only fixed in the schedule, which means requests have to rip everything apart in the schedule and then look at what's available and if that kid's requests work with what's available. You know, it would be an easy fit in a perfect world to say, oh, okay, I want to take gym this period, I want such and such, but it's never that easy.
It's not, okay.
Yeah, that's real life.
Yeah. How many do you have parents come in occasionally, and what's their usual response to?
Do they request
Yeah, do they,
honors classes
do
or
they-
regular classes? Usually when parents come in and they know their kids well, there's both. There are those who request that their kids are placed in honors or AP, the more advanced classes, and there are parents who know their kids, their workload, their work ethic, and they say, no, let's just stick with honors. I mean, you know, with the regular classes, but parents who come in have been, for the most part, very, very reasonable.
How long does it take? Do you have to factor in different things, like you said, that they're honors and you have to rip apart their schedule and start fresh? Like, what's the main struggle of changing a schedule?
Is the request reasonable and why? There are instances where kids actually need to be called in face to face and parents on the phone because of certain requests.
And what would that be?
Some kid, mind you, course registration forms for most kids were completed before school was out, and we individually, the counselors and I, we entered that information in the system. So when the system placed these kids in classes, the original requests were pretty much filled. So then, oh, I don't like this teacher, or I don't like this period, or I'm not with my friend. So then, how serious is the request? Some of them, you know, I actually, believe it or not, had a kid turn in a request, drop bad form, it doesn't feel right. But there are serious issues where kids and parents really need to be called, and some of them are just not doable. If a class has 40 kids in there, some of those kids have to come out. That's not an option. You know, people get impatient, and we don't understand patience. We understand what we want as the priority. but we don't look at all the intricacies that are involved with making these changes. No one ever.
So, you're so busy with these schedules. Are you looking into next semester schedules, or are you
No. We're working both.
You're working both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As we're making adjustments, the priority is that we look at the entire schedule, because otherwise this monster continues
Next semester.
before Christmas. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's crazy. And and we have to keep in mind that this is not the only thing we're doing. Aside from the people who are coming into the office, we have to look at NCAA requests. We have to look at kids who are doing dual enrollment to make sure that their classes are lined up with the college. We have to communicate with the colleges. We have kids who are at the Academy for Advanced Studies. We have to make sure these schedules mix. We got to make sure they're on the right buses for transportation. We got to make sure they're meeting all the requirements that they need. Don't forget, Impact Academy kids we're their homeschool. Some of them come here for class, some of them don't come here for class. We've got all of these things that are going on in the course of a day, but in the priority or the mind of a child, what do they see and what do they hear? Those people aren't finished with my forms. No. Oh, here's a good one. I turned in my form open house. So initially when we started working on these Thursday night, because no one needs sleep, guess what? Kids come in Monday, second form, Tuesday, third form. So as we're processing, I put my hand on this has been changed. Some kids are turning in 2, 3, 4 requests, same schedule, and they want us to revisit. Really? Now, is that selfish or?
Yeah.
Where's the logic on that one? But we have to process that. What is the consideration? What is the request? Let's look at, so what we did, we put all our schedule requests, all my S through Z's.
Mm-hmm.
I just stopped what I was doing after Thursday night, no sleep, Friday. I'm a little old and I need my rest.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped what I was doing, lined them all up, put them in alpha order. So my kids who had 2, 3, 4 requests, click them. That takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, now I'll start over.
Mm-hmm. How many emails do you receive?
Who counts emails?
Emails? Okay. Well,
They're nonstop.
Thank you for this interview.
Thank you. I hope it helps. I think everyone's excited about school, the new school year. I think it's going to be a very, very productive year. If I had to make a request of parents, students, even teachers in the building, mind you, there are some teachers whose classes are busting at the seams. We still have to go back and pull, but we're hoping once this is processed by Friday, that'll balance some of those classes out. We have to balance classes as well.
Yeah.
We've got kids who are trying to graduate. We got kids who need EO. There are a lot. All I ask is patience and understanding. And I think a lot of people, we're more focused on what we want, that we lose focus on big picture and everything that's involved with what we have to do. Our priority is what's best for the kid. Big picture, we want to graduate. We want to go to college, live our lives, military, and our job is to help prepare you, not always the easy route, but what's best.